Let me say welcome one and all. If you tune in to Classic Radio, those of you viewing via GBN TV, those of you are probably just getting onto your computers and just kick that link on our Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning. Welcome. It's to the point for today. It's Friday, the 31st day of May. Yeah, we're about to wrap up this particular month. Now, this is the final day of the month anyway, so we'll wrap it up in a couple hours from now, and will be the end of the month of May. The month of May will certainly carry with it for you the memories of this particular month. We're getting into the month of June. It's an open line edition of To The Point for today, which means you listeners, viewers out there, you have the option of calling in, sharing your views, sharing your concerns this morning. It's Friday after all. It happened a day after a holiday, right? Always seem to kind of catch you a little bit off guard, and they certainly have gotten me a little bit off guard this morning. Anyway, welcome once again. We're looking at just around 2 minutes or so after the 9 o'clock hour this morning, and we're entertaining your calls this morning once again. Open line edition. Let's hear your views, your concerns, issues that may be of concern to you. Let's hear about it, and let's hear your views. Let's go to the phone line and entertain our very first caller. You're welcome. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, GT, and morning to your listeners and viewers.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, it's interesting, a little conversation which I didn't hear clearly that you and Innocent were having about the holidays.
I know.
The kind of impact it has. I just want to use the opportunity to say that in terms of the fact that we have really gone back, I have a young friend who is 38 years old.
You consider that young?
Well, who said to me, you could tell me she was saying to me yesterday was a holiday because she prepared her child to go to school. Now, I could see, as I told her, I could see that we're making a mistake, like we're getting a little, forget that it was a holiday, but not knowing yesterday a holiday, I think it's unbecoming. Because this holiday, not that I support it, it's been there for forever. So
Colin, it sort of caught me off guard too. I was actually getting myself ready for work and stuff yesterday. It caught me off guard, to be honest. I just didn't remember this holiday yesterday for some reason.
You didn't remember?
I didn't remember.
Not to remember is a different than not knowing it was a holiday.
Not knowing it, I know of the particular holiday, right? But somehow I didn't remember yesterday was going to be a holiday for some reason or the other. I didn't remember it.
Yeah, because it happened to us, all of us. Sometimes we don't remember tomorrow is a holiday or that kind of thing. But then not to know it was a holiday, there was a holiday coming up. I think that is very concerning. Anyway, my contribution this morning has to do with basically a few items. One, African liberation was held last Saturday. And it's very sad that we, as people mainly of African origin, we are basically an African population with a sprinkling of other people. Nowadays we have added to the mix to what you call the citizen by investment. We used to have African Liberation Day as a main day, especially leading up even before the revolution. The progressive people here used to mark the day. And after when revolution came, it became like a holiday. We brought Kenneth Kaunda, we brought Sally Mugabe, the fourth wife of let me see, I'm probably getting it mixed up, but we brought quite a few African folks here. And it was a big thing. It was a time when people came together. Now, particularly after invasion, I think the MBPM tried to bring in certain people here. They were banned. I think Sophie Michael Kwame Toure was banned from coming in. It shows how backward we have become. Just as though after invasion we removed from Fort Rupert to Fort George and Bailey to Hatfield Secondary, all this kind of backward move we have made, rather than celebrating our Africanness. So it's interesting that the acting Prime Minister Andy William said that hopefully that will become a holiday. And I would really like to become a holiday because already we did a disservice to the African memory here when we take away one of the emancipation holidays. in favor of colonial cricket, which I have nothing against in terms of cricket. But we swapped that day, and it was expected to be just a one-time thing. But it become permanent. We slashed it, and it shows that the person who was head of government's time, it shows this disrespect for his Africanness. So I think that we need to really begin a certain level of consciousness so that we be more involved in what is happening in Haiti, what is happening in the African continent, where you have a country, Kenya, is being used to foster blackface capitalism. So Kenya is there all over the place. Whether in Haiti, they're going now they've been recruited to work along with to process the Houthis who were captured by the colonials and them. They're also giving bases to the British. And sending their people to Israel in the line of firing. It's so outrageous. We need to be more aware of that and be able to add. We could say things. Finally, the election in South Africa, I think it should be very instructive for us in the sense that we had the ANC in power for 30 years, and they poised to lose their majority. So there will be a need. They will be very interested. So we should pay attention.
All right.
And probably discuss.
Kola, if I had to ask you one question, I listen to you and I understand where you're coming from, and I of course respect your concerns. Have you ever wondered the mainland Africa? Have you ever wondered how concerned they are about us here in our neck of the woods in the Caribbean? Have you ever wondered about? I can
tell you, they have a lot of concern. The problem with on both sides, we've been starved of knowledge of each other, but there's a thirst. I am part of a number of African Pan-African platforms, and it's amazing how they respond. In fact, the Africans, the progressive ones, they look at the West Indies or the Western of the people in the diaspora as an important element. In fact, and without them, I'm always amazed whether it's Professor Lumumba or Arikana, Dr. Arikana, when they mention names like Marcus Garvey, Fidel Castro, when they mention names like Frantz Fanon, Walter Rodney, these people, those names are in them. I'm not saying the whole of the continent, but there is that connection. There is, in fact, early on this year, there was a delegation that came, Bishop Moponga, and same Americana and all that. They were in Jamaica. There's this other Ghanaian guy who does stuff, who promoting the awareness of people where people are African heritage.
All right, caller. All right. I thank you so much for your concern, but let's move on to another caller. Thank you so much. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Caller via WhatsApp.
Good morning, Mr. Telesford.
Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Not too bad, just quiet. This morning on the program with Mr. Gordon, I heard someone mention about the usage of marijuana, young children, and things of that sort. And the thought came to my mind, highlighting the legalization and decriminalization of marijuana, and they say for recreation use and medical use or such.
Yes.
My question I'm trying to figure out, when they legalize and decriminalize marijuana and they say for recreation purpose, would people be able to go into supermarkets and shop and purchase marijuana cigarette? No. If that would be, how would you curb the smoking of marijuana among children under age 18 when parents can go now in the supermarket, buy marijuana cigarette?
Well, Kola, we cannot preempt the decisions that will be made in terms of how this is going to go about.
I guess
we're just preempting what is going to happen, but we cannot preempt that as yet.
Well, I know in some countries in Europe, I'm not Sweden, some of them, that you could go in shops and you could purchase marijuana. I'm not saying I'm preempting. I am saying we have to be very careful as when we're talking about recreational use and how would you control the age group. I heard Mr. Clouden on a radio station saying there will be laws in place, 18 years and under, you will not be able to use it. But you may not know, or would you tell whether someone is 18 years or not? So I'm saying that will be a very, very ticklish situation as to how the recreation use will go about.
All right. You can't even control the use of alcohol these days in terms of the age range. How would you be able to control that? Think about that, right?
All right. I'm thinking about that also. So you can't control alcohol, and now you're coming in with something that is adding to alcohol, which you will have challenging in controlling. Don't you see there will be a problem already? So you're telling me you have one problem and you're going and get another problem to put on top of it? Because we talk about how much young children smoking at such. So I am saying that is something that has to be cautiously way early in. I don't against medical use, I don't against medical use. But you see this recreational use, I'm very skeptical about that aspect. Things could go out of hand with the recreational use of it.
All right.
Secondly,
all right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, go on.
No, you go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Okay, I finished on the marijuana aspect of things. Last Friday, when you had the teacher guy there, the union.
Yes, that's Mr. Jude Bartholomew. Yeah.
Right. I listened to his comment very well. And on Monday, I made the point that union are also responsible for motivating the people they represent to be of good discipline. I'm not asking you that. I have been involved in union and I know what union gives. It is more difficult for a union to defend an ill-disciplined employee when he does something wrong than if a disciplined employee do something wrong, you have more leeway. And what I am seeing now, a lot of people come down on Mr. Jude Bartholomew. What I am seeing now, that union leaders sometimes see themselves as more of fighting in arms, whether you ill-disciplined or not. If he said that there are situations where people need to perform when they have been given duties, whether you are a public officer and another union represents you, there is no harm in making such statement. I heard the PRO of another union and a radio station making all lash out comment. And I am saying, when you represent workers and they are doing things negatively as a union, you have to speak to it and ask them to pull up on themselves and pull away. You can't allow them to do things just careless and feel their union to back them in wrong and in every situation. That is what a good union leader is all about. And finally, and the aspect that I'm asking a question, the CBI program, not CBI now, they call it another name. I can't remember the name. How America can determine who you can accept as a citizen or not? They say no from Russia, no from Iran, no from another place. So what I'm seeing there, even though we're talking independence, there are certain things America dictate to people too much. and we must learn to make our independent decisions. So that is three aspects. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. You have double options of calling in on the program this morning. If you want to call via the WhatsApp, feel free to do so. 435-2041. You want to call me directly? 435-2041. We do have another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Yes, good morning once again, JT. How are you today?
I am doing good. Doing good.
Have a good day. Now, to strengthen what your last caller said, I dwelt on that for some time too, and it puzzles me, but I understand it. How could America tell us who to choose for a friend? You know why? Because we continue to beg America. We continue to beg the large countries for our needs. We don't learn to put our house in order, to get our economy going, to make our economy work so we could be more independent, not being totally independent because we're independent, but more independent. We have to be able to find our own monies, create our own monies, develop our people to earn, to spend, so that we can have the required flow of revenue to do our work. Until we do that, we'll continue begging, and America and this country will continue telling us what to do, to make us break our constitution when we want, how they want, to suit them. So we have to understand that leadership and management is at play here. We have to be able to lead, we have to be able to manage. And I'm afraid to say that we do not have good leaders for quite some time, and we do not have good managers for quite some time, and that is the problem. We're good at education, we're good at levels of education, but we're not good of concepting, imagining, and doing things. So we're stuck in theory, and we cannot practicalize anything. That's our basic problem, sir.
Thank you. Have a good morning, and you're certainly welcome. 435-2041. 435 is an open line this morning here on the program, which means your listeners and viewers. Let's hear from you this morning in terms of your views, your concern. You probably have an opinion you want to share. We certainly will give you a listening ear. Good morning to you, caller. You're welcome. Caller, good morning. Caller, good morning. Caller, good morning. I guess we lost that caller there. Anyway, 435-2041. Let me see if I can grab some of the comments before we entertain another caller this morning. Someone is saying via the WhatsApp, how many of the citizens by investments from Africa receive their passport, head straight to the USA or elsewhere? This is the Caribbean. Our history is yes important, but we are the Caribbean. We here in Grenada are blessed and have no similarities to Haiti or Africa politically. Bless all Grenadian people. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, GT and your followers.
Good morning to you, sir.
Okay, I'm calling because there's a caller who constantly calls about African Liberation Day and African and whatnot. Let that caller know that Africans do not consider us in the Caribbean here as Africans. When you meet them abroad, they will tell you straight, we are not Africans. So I don't know what we're trying to adopt. Let us seek our own identity. We are Grenadians, we are West Indians, we are Caribbean people. We're not Africans. And the Africans do not see us or respect us as Africans. That's all I have to say this morning.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate your call. 435-2041. We're looking at 20 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour this morning. It's to the point. Open line edition here. And I'm seeing lots of contributions this morning via the WhatsApp. We'll be taking a couple of them shortly. Let's take this caller, and then we probably entertain some of the comments. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Bless. I sure joy. You got mental. You remember too. And that too. Why I say, I don't know. Yesterday was Halloween. Yeah, I was saying that. I said this today. I get to realize that, you know. But okay. I'm gonna make a look at me. I fall. I put on my foot, and I have a foot problem from home. So I don't sit to my prayer. I think you say I can't move, I can't feel everything, you know. I'm going to do some stuff, you know. So I want God, you know, I believe in God, man, that I live in here.
All right.
Hey, all right. God say, in the book of Jude, come and dry, come and everybody go to diverse temptation. No God, you can tell about God. God loves you, and God gives Paul a calling place.
All right.
God says, I do. He has even said me yet.
All right.
I believe in God. And those that believe in God, believe in Jesus. Yeah, we can, and look at Paul saying, come and dry, come and
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution this morning. We certainly do appreciate it. Folks, we drew for a break. Let's take it. And we'll be coming right back with much more of your calls and, of course, your contributions via the WhatsApp in terms of messages. Let's take that break. We're coming right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for Grenada to laugh again. Heritage Theatre presents Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024, Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, 23rd June at the Trade Center in Grandance, and on Sunday, 30th June at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime, 7 p.m. every time, featuring some of Grenada's best ambassadors of comedy. Robert White.
I'll line up behind the yellow for 9 elections straight. I changed for 9 times to lose the last election. Why? Because I'm always on the losing side.
Dillion Walters.
It's the McWayne I couldn't take. I don't tell Molly didn't know.
Kareem Alexis and other outstanding comedic performances, all coming to knock you off your seats with laughter. Get your tickets now. Bring out the entire family. Tickets are $60. It's time for Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024.
The place go flood with laughter.
Get ready, Grenada, for the 18th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert. Hubbard's Legends in Concert, as we raise our hands and give thanks. On Saturday, October 26, 2024, Thanksgiving weekend, Grenada Trade Center, 7:30 p.m. Hubbard's Legends in Concert. Stay tuned to GBN for more.
Mr. mentioned the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low folder.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake, I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Solve your conflict in a different way. Choose peace and love instead of all bloodshed. Leave and leave. You see the violence thing.
Make the change. Make the change.
Make the change.
Make the change.
Make the change.
Make a change.
Make the change.
Make the change.
End the gun violence now.
Just please give life a chance. Let's stop the violence.
Welcome back. Those of you listening and viewing to GBN TV, via GBN TV and listening via Classic Radio. We go back to the phone lines, folks, 435-2041. Open line edition this morning. Let's hear your views, your concerns. This morning, you have the opportunity to call in and share those views and concerns. Let's go back to the telephone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you today, sir?
Not bad at all. Not bad. Some always say don't use the word bad, but let's say I'm good.
Right. Gigi, let me tell you something. That last man talk about the African. They don't recognize we in the Caribbean as Africans. One time I was working in a place abroad, and there was a lot of Indians working there. And I go to an Indian when I tell him, I say, Oh, you from India? You is an Indian? No, I didn't say from India. I said you is Indian. Just so. The man trying to tell me he's not Indian. He said he's Pakistani.
Oh boy.
He was so mad when I tell him he's from he's Indian. He says he's from Pakistan. He's not an Indian. You understand how they think? And the African do the same thing. I've been to synagogue one time and it's the same thing. They don't recognize Caribbean people. They don't recognize all at all. I'm telling you, they don't recognize we in the Caribbean. Well, we're pushing for it, but they don't recognize you at all.
All right.
Anyway, have a nice day. Thank you.
You too, sir. Have a good one. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's grab a couple of the comments before we entertain another caller. Let's take the caller, and then we entertain the comments. Caller via WhatsApp. You're welcome. Good morning.
GT, how are you doing, sir?
I am good. Good.
That issue of the scrapping of the invitational and the implications of it is something that people should take very seriously. It's not only that they scrap the invitational, they dismantle the franchise that is responsible for establishing the idea. But if you notice the press release that was given by the organization, it emphasized a whole lot of the economic situation that we are in that doesn't permit the franchise to continue to function. And that means that is a serious indictment on the government. It's a reflection of the economic state that we are in. And people need to be cognizant of it. And given the situation, the government owes the people an explanation of why they let such a franchise go busted. Given that sports tourism is a big emphasis on from the tourism, the tourist board point of view, from the government utterances, especially when Mr. Ron Redhead was Minister for Sports in recent time. Sports tourism was very much emphasized. And when you let a franchise like that and given a given sport activity like that, international acclaim, go to busted or go haywire, it puts a serious dent in the confidence of this government. And it's a serious issue that people need to focus on.
Could I ask you one question as it relates to the the invitational being sponsored? Was the invitational the franchise, was it a private of course entity, or was it a government owned franchise? That's what I want to find out.
It's not a government owned franchise. It's a private franchise.
So why is the government to be blamed?
It's a government owned
for the franchise wanting to dismantle?
That's the point. The implications of such a thing is what policies it reflects of the government in presenting or enabling such a franchise to function for the benefit of the country, given what tourism and sports tourism could bring to Grenada, or any country for that matter. It is an emphatical thing in a whole lot of countries nowadays, Sports tourism is a critical thing, very much similar to where you have hospital encouraging people to come to the various countries.
I do understand all the benefits. I do understand all the benefits that comes along because of it, sir. I was just trying to get from you the blame that is being triggered. Is it the blame the government, or is it the franchise for their organizational part of things? That's what I'm trying to get at. You understand?
I am saying it implicates the government. That's what I'm saying. Because it's a critical thing for functioning of tourism, which is a big part of government responsibility to enable the country to function. And it's not just that, the whole issue of the tourism aspect. When you have the disappointment it creates for people like Kirani. I listened to Kirani after he won he came second in the last Diamond League, promising that he will be back in Grenada for the Invitational. And only a few days before the Invitational, it is scrapped. What kind of effect it is having on his psyche, or people who have booked their tickets and whatever to come to Grenada? What kind of effect it is on them? What is it, the confidence it puts to people or give to people in such a situation? So when you have a government not recognizing, and that's the part I'm talking about, when you have a government not recognizing the implications of such a thing, it shows neophytism. You have people with lack of understanding in responsible positions who does not understand how to handle such a thing. We have $22.5 million spent for independence celebration for a whole year. Light on the coroners, whole night. For what reason in the world? A whole set of money could have been taken from the government coffers and given to let that franchise continue for the benefit of Grenada. Pure and simple.
All right, thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. I'll take another caller. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning to you and to your followers.
Good morning.
I really appreciate, the zeal and the energy from some of your callers, but we seem not to understand the fundamentals of business. I mean, when a private company takes up a project, they have to count the costs. They have to put together a coalition of sponsors. They have to also manage the resources carefully. There must be integrity in how they do it. Government can't just go and prop up anything. And people talking about the invitationals. I heard some folks spoke also about the World Cup, the T20 World Cup. You have to count the cost. You can't just do things for a show. One of the largest economies in the Caribbean, Jamaica, did not even apply. Jamaica said we don't want it. Because when we count the costs, when we put the figures, they don't add up. So we don't want it. So people are saying, oh, we don't get it. No, there are things that we have to leave alone. How many matches will we get if everybody wants matches? Right? What will be the benefits to us compared to the cost and the investment we have to put into getting these 2 or 3 matches? We don't think business like, look at the CPL and even the IPL, which is the larger parent franchise. They don't ask governments for anything. These people make a lot of money, not only from attendance, but from broadcast rights. They don't ask anybody. They have the thing down packed. These are business people. They get the thing going. But we seem to feel like government has to be involved in everything and government has to prop up every unsuccessful venture. There may be benefits, yes, but you have to balance the benefits against the cost. And most of us don't seem to understand that part. We are not business-thinking people. There was a mention made about the Americans' influence. And I agree 100%. We have to do more. We have not done enough since independence to make ourselves less dependent on the first world countries. But there's a limit to how much we can be independent. Financially, our financial system, we cannot have our own financial system in the Caribbean. There is something called correspondent banking. Some people never ever heard that. Unless you have a major international bank to back your financial transaction, you cannot do any international transaction. You can't use a credit card. You can order goods from anywhere in the world because your currency and the backing of your currency would not be accepted. And as much as we would want to be independent of America and some of the other countries, if they decide they're not supporting our little banks in the Caribbean here, what will happen to us as a country? We can't import, we can't export, we cannot do anything. So we need to understand a little bit more about how these things operate. It's nice to be eager and energetic and to have the spirit of we want to be independent, we want to support everything, but at the end of the day, it has to make financial sense. And we are small potatoes. We're not in a large global minefield. So we have to be very careful and be realistic.
All right.
Before we speak.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. Now, let's say I was trying to grab a contribution from someone via the WhatsApp that I thought was very interesting, and I seem to may have lost it along the way for some reason. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Telesford, and how are you?
Doing good.
Mr. Telesford, the bill that the government passed concerning the guns, I was so happy with the decision that the government take, because the government supposed to protect the citizens of this country. It's not right for a handful of people to be having your citizens unhappy. They preach that the police need, to work with the community, work with the people, because the police can't do it alone. But I see a video going wrong, and I hear him talk concerning the state of a police station, where they record in the police station and showing people a few pieces of board falling down. Mr. Telesford, this video dropped the confidence of the citizens right back. For me, it dropped me right back. I've been thinking now, if I see somebody with a gun or I see a gun somewhere, if I should go and report it, I thinking now that if I go and report it now, we have police in the station could inform on me and let them know the person that bring the information of the guns. And I looking now at a wanted person now. You see, we do things and we don't think of what we're doing. Because I ain't find that video, you should have something in place, the police station. I ain't saying police should work under bad condition. But it should have somewhere where the police could go to the government, and this government is very cooperative and want to see that workers work under good condition. Go to them, let them see the situation, and then you all walk and try to see try to better the police station. Because I see that government try with a lot of police station repairing and doing things. But when you as a police will do that, you're making me have no confidence in you as a police. You're making me feel not working with the police anymore. Because if they're in a situation in your workplace, and you could put it on social media and make papi show it.
But caller, do you have evidence on the fact that it actually came from a police who put that particular video out there? It's not that you can't be seen.
Voice,
you heard the police voice.
Know somebody by the voice, right? And
I could be sounding like a police officer also.
Well, I find the police should come out with a statement now and make the people know that don't come from the police station. Don't you find that the best?
Well, I agree. I mean, videos of that nature should not even be circulating for whatever reason. Yes. You understand? But you cannot just come out and say it's the police.
That don't come from them, but because I know people by their voice, right? I have police friends, so I do believe.
So tell me, how does a police officer sound? How does a police?
We don't talk. So I know.
Anyway, I understand where you're coming from. Have a good morning. All right, that's funny stuff there. Anyway, we drew for a break. Let's take it. We come back with more of your calls and find the next segment. Stay with us, folks. It's to the point here. Classic Radio, GBN TV.
Use a pan to wash and rinse your dishes. Save water.
This awareness initiative is part of activities under the Climate Resilient Water sector in Grenada. The project is funded by the Green Climate Fund, the German government, and the government of Grenada.
Take it to the Street Dance Competition is here once again. Friday, 7th June 2024, 6:30 p.m. Tantine Hardcore. Hosted by the Ministry of Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture. For more information, call 440-0366 or 415-8282. Gather your crew. Perfect those dance moves. Come out and be fascinated by Grenada's best street dancers. Take it to the Street Dance Competition, Friday, June 7th, 2024. Don't miss it.
I am Audrey Jackson.
I'm Greg Jackson.
On February 19th at 4 a.m., a gun was used to take my son from me. You know him as Pop Smoke. We call him Shar. Because of gun violence, I'll never see my son run up the front of our steps, taking them 2 at a time. He won't ever take my hands again and dance with me. He won't come into my room and muscle pose in the mirror. Gun violence destroys families. It must stop.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. We go back to the phone lines. 435-2041 is an open line for today, Friday, the final edition for this week. To the point. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Hallelujah. Bless you. Well, I want to start again. God, let me put that first. Just God, get a name, just die for us. And just as many as you see him, like important to become sons of God. And I tell you, Olean, doesn't know God themselves, you know. God will do something right now. God will do something right now. God will do right now. Right now, God will do something. I'll back a picture. Most times, no matter.
All right, caller. Thank you so much. Let's entertain another caller. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Hey, good morning, JT.
How are you this morning?
JT, with this police thing are going and they were the post on the thing. It must be the police what do it. Because nobody can go in a police station. And people are going in the police station. If they could do that, they could take the same, they could go in the files, all the files there, and photograph it and put it on here. So it must be the policeman who do it.
All right, but let's not spread the imagination too wide this morning and that. I understand where you're coming from, but let's not think that's going to happen, all right? Have a good morning. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, TC. Sorry to come back. But I want to make this point because, you know, this is on my mind and it's affecting us, it's affecting the whole country. The economy. Let's not play down the importance of the economy. No one wants to be political. We're not bashing the government or trying to bash any government. Plain and simple, the economy is over the years was not put in motion to take care of the citizens. You see, we have to monetize the economy. We have to produce money because that is what government use to do the projects and whatever they have to do. We have to make that an issue. Discussing the economy, what do you do, what arms of the economy we get going to ensure that the economy create the revenue. We can't continue behaving the way we are doing the thing we're doing and maybe, you know, government should support this and government shouldn't support this. Look, the economy must be strong enough to put us in a position to go forward. Let us make it an issue. We have a high expenditure of the economy, but the revenue aspect of the economy is a problem. Yeah? The arms of the economy that should bring in the revenue, like agriculture, tourism, the building industry, the service sector, this is on the back foot. We have to get that aspect of the economy going so that we can provide the jobs and the money to allow government the revenue to do what it's supposed to do. So let us not fight each other in terms of what one may say about the economy and then the other come and counter. Let us work together.
All right.
And show the government what they have to exactly to grow the economy, to prevent what is happening. Because we must use the economy to do everything that we have to do to survive. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Let's take another caller. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning and welcome.
GT, sometimes I wonder what your last caller understand by economy.
Yeah, but let's try not to get to the back and forth from another caller to another caller. Let's try to eliminate that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that maybe you could ask him, the point I was making, maybe you could ask him what is his understanding of the economy, because it seems to be contradictory when he speaks. But anyway, what I call back to say is that for those, in terms of people blaming the government for the cancellation of the as one caller said, the dismantling of the sports. It's not even dismantling. It was, the organization was dissolved. It wasn't dismantled. Anyway, but if we understand that sporting events are very expensive events, we saw what happened in Greece. Greece had the Athens Olympics, and we see what happened after, the dire situation that they end up with. Even after now, the Montreal Olympics, the city of Montreal have still not recovered in terms of the cost. We know that sporting events are very expensive. We also have not even got a report on the cricket 2007, how much it cost Grenada and so on, what was the take-ins.
All right.
So these are things that we need to consider. And finally, the propaganda that we have that Africans doesn't respect us. The problem is that most people, they are being confused with what is called nationality and race. Nationality is different to race. And Indian would be an Indian, not whether he considers himself as a Bangladeshi or Pakistani or even a Nepalese, is an Indian. I mean, as an ethnic or racial group. So we have to bear in mind, Africans, they're one of the few people that have been convinced that they're nothing else, they're everything else other than African. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Good morning, Jay. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing really good.
We got into the police station in Grenville. You know, with the pieces of boat falling down. People are saying that the police officer that put out the video. But they're not asking which part of the station the boat was falling down. And boat was falling where normally civilians go and operate. So let's imagine you go to the station and piece of boat down. Fell on you. You would take the government to court. You would sue the government. So they're looking from a different angle. Yeah? Not just attacking the police and the police station. Look at the people who went in there to make a report and pieces that would fall on them. What would happen after that? They would sue the government. Secondly, without games, brother, you ask a question to a caller to call you. If it's a government or private entity. And to me, it's a private entity. But all over the world, even in the U.S., you'll find the NBA, NFL, baseball, they go to different states. And the government in different states will build stadiums for them. They will help them to get the games on. And they will spend millions of dollars to get the game on because the revenue that would come from that, people going to the games and people having fun, is good for the area. So government spending money on sports is nothing new. All over the world that happening. And thirdly, we're going back to Glen. Most people in the country can realize that these days the current is going off and on. And they might be asking why. Why is that happening now? Glen only have one good generator. One operating. Most of the companies under stress. Right? You have 2 senior men resign in 2 months. And Glen need a generator right now to get itself moving. And to build a generator and get it to Grenada, it might take about a year. So they're going back and rent generator right now, which is kind of going backwards in the first place. We have sun outside, and we should be moving heavily in that area. Heavily renewable energy, but it seems like this country, something is wrong. Politics is killing this country. It's stifling this country. Nothing can move. Nothing can go forward. We're just going backwards. So sooner or later, if that generator that they have that is working good collapse, this country will be in dark age, and nobody's looking at Glen. Yeah?
All
We
right.
have a serious problem in Grenada right now. Have a nice day, brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. Approximately just around 12 minutes or so left on today's program. We go back to the phone line. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning to you, GT. I just thought, because I really love history, I just thought I would pitch in a little piece, just so for thought. No, I suppose that our education ministry back then, that included the history of the West Indian peoples by Carter, Digby, and Murray, they went through the books and they knew that the books made sense and it would help us to understand, us Caribbean people, to understand who we are as a people.
Yes.
Right. So I always keep wondering why, up to today, we are still struggling to find ourselves. Aren't we paying attention to what we have learned? Now, it's a series of books. I don't know if you did it. History of the West Indian Peoples by Carter, Digby, and Murray. Right. The first one is called Our Heritage. Our Heritage. And as you get to the first chapter, it is describing us, the area down here, whether you want to say the West Indies or the Caribbean. And the title is Where the Races Meet. Yes? And describing us as people, it says brown people, brown as ripeness berry, brown people, brown as chocolate, black people, proud people, people yellow as ripe banana, rich people, laughing people, fair-skinned people, busy people. There's the West Indian people. So what we learned back then is that we are from a mixture of races. So as an earlier caller said, what we should really try to do is find our Caribbean identity by virtue of our history, who we are. Find our Caribbean identity. But it suited probably the powers of the world back then to have us confused and divided, because if the Caribbean should come together as one Caribbean people, we'll be a force to reckon with. So you have a little bit ignoring the Indians down here. They find the marginalizing race in the Caribbean, so the Indians are second place, and you know what I mean? When they're thinking of a national way for Grenada, most times they think of something that I don't believe the Indian people would feel comfortable with. Most times when I see what people put forward. So up to today we do not have. And it's probably because we're not understanding who we are as a people. I just thought I would toss that in for what it's worth. Have a nice day, GD.
Thank you too. Have a good day yourself. Appreciate your contribution this morning as always. Let's take another caller via WhatsApp. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning. You're welcome.
Hey, GT, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Happy Friday.
Same
GT,
to you, man.
Did you get to plant anything yesterday, man?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't come on, GT, man. All right. Anyway, GT, a while ago, I heard a caller mentioning about, like, you mentioned things like the NBA and how, like, different county will put money to, to help with the sports and whatever. He don't know what he's talking about, because the NBA we could look at the NBA. The NBA is a big franchise. They don't need.
But we still cannot weigh the comparison to Grenada.
Exactly, because they got Nike, Puma, all these people, and they must sponsor these games and them. Look at the team. Look the logo and the thing. But anyway, GT, what I want to really talk about. Yesterday I was reading the New Today. And there was an article that members of the National Party want to take Kit Mitchell to court because they feel that he's not calling a convention and he's trying to hold a spot for Dwight Hasford. And I think that is very ironic, because we heard they talk about the 40 years celebration and nothing mentioned also about having a constitution, so I think it calls for concern. And a second thing I want to also talk about I happened to listen to Daisy Hazard, and she came out such a bully, confrontational. If the union they have a problem, I think union should be able to meet together, and be civil about it. Have a conversation instead of taking it on the media, because everybody know in the Tillman Thomas administration there was sabotage. That there are LNP folks who want to see the government fail. We know that. It does happen in all different government that comes in. There are people in the place who might disagree with certain things and may go slow. Just to make government look bad.
Right.
I think the union should take it, call one another, have a meeting, and discuss it and take it out of the public.
All right, man.
GT, you have a blessed weekend. And GT, plan something this weekend, man.
I will try. Have a good morning. Caller, welcome. Good morning.
Morning, GT.
Good morning to you.
It's hard to get through to you. The woman said a mouthful. We must know our history so we can move forward in our past. There's a guy named Jude, make a lot of sense. John Roll will make a lot of sense. I've been listening to this station for a long time, and you can, by their census, who's making sense and who's not, about the economy. And you made it, I won't go back by what people say, but the positive thing what people say, okay?
Right.
This thing about Africa don't accept us. We are a group of people that's mixed, okay? We know we are Pelau. Some people don't know that. We cannot leave Africa behind because the Chinese right now going to try to take over, okay? That's where the whole gold, diamond, everything is coming from, okay? Right now, recently, people don't listen to the news. They say some people should have been to Africa. I've been there. I've been to the United States, okay? Some countries put aside lands, okay? They put aside all kinds of deals for people in the diaspora, including us, okay? Lately, people don't know. They don't listen to world news, okay? Barbados is trying to make a connection. They have, within the last year, they tried to start an airline. Europeans have their foot in our necks, and people don't understand the divide and conquer that the woman just described, right? Because we are all mixed, okay? Now they have a bank. They're trying to set up a bank, and they had a meeting the other day. Within the last few months, within the last year, they're trying to make a connection between the Caribbean and Africa. That's where the wealth is, okay? We can't leave Africa behind. No more than we can leave Europeans behind. They owe us reparations, okay? They give us money. They want us to pay it back. They owe us from the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors, okay? We are mixed. We're part of them. We can't create history and hatred. We have to accept all of us as one big old Pelau, okay? And make sure that the money that was taken away in European banks, bring it back to the revenue of Grenada. These will take care of the problem we have with the Nawasa who got money before. Jude would have mentioned that, okay? The Glen, all this money has been there. It's corruption. We're going down the wrong road. We need to understand what's going on. Divide and conquer. We don't want to end up like some other country that's speaking French. I don't want to call the name, because crabs in a barrel. We self-destruct. We don't want to do that, okay? You must understand what's going on with the economy, okay? Where the money is, right? What the wealth is in our ancestry in Africa, okay? Another thing we must say, that the whole thing about African Liberation Day, we missed that one. But there's one coming called Juneteenth. It has a lot to do with uniting Africans, the diaspora and Africa. It's called Juneteenth. Maybe we could, with the guy I heard the minister said.
All right, caller. I thank you so much. Thank you so much for all that you have to say. Have a good one. Have a good day yourself. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Via WhatsApp.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm not repeating what others have said because I was not listening for a little while. Well, I'm trying to get you. Yeah, I think what history teaches us, that we are multiracial to some extent, and it may be it's in the Caribbean, in Grenada in particular, our ancestry, African ancestry component is probably the predominant one, but that should not ignore the fact that there are people, they're Grenadian citizens by birth, who ancestors included people from the from Asia, from Europe, etc. So the issue is not whether we are multiracial. and we should embrace our ancestors, regardless of where they come from. And I guess the predominant one may tilt the scale towards that side, but I think we should not become too hung up on that. If you do, a friend of mine did. He's from the Caribbean. Both parents are from the Caribbean, and their parents are from the Caribbean. And he'd go into ancestry.com, DNA, something like that, and it's amazing. You find people from Europe, from Asia, all over the place. But looking at the person, you can't even guess that. So we can only make so much mileage out of that. It is a fact that we're multiracial, some more than others. And how do we leverage that? Depends. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. What a wonderful way to wrap up this edition Up to the Point. We have 1 minute after the 10 o'clock hour this morning. I want to say thanks to all who contributed towards today's program, the Open Line edition. I appreciate your calls. Appreciate your, of course, your contribution this morning. A whole lot. Have yourself a wonderful day. What's left of it. Have a great weekend to come. And we'll be back with you on Monday once the Almighty permits. Health, strength, and everything else that is needed. Have yourself a great one, folks. That's where I say goodbye for this edition of To the Point. Goodbye. And that's where I say goodbye.